Welcome to Ethan Hahn Plus, the podcast where dreams take center stage. On this show, we're all about spotlighting the incredible talents and passions of everyday people. Whether you're an aspiring artist, a person of faith, or simply someone with a story to tell, this podcast is your platform. So sit back, relax, and get ready to meet some extraordinary individuals. Because here at Ethan Hahn Plus, everyone has a chance to shine. Welcome to another episode of Ethan Hahn Plus, the podcast you listen to in the shower, in the bathtub, while you're mowing the lawn, while you're sleeping, while you're driving the car, while you're digging a grave. I don't know why. That's a little morbid, ain't it? We're breaking the ice today. You listen to this podcast anywhere and everywhere. No, we don't, Ethan. Yeah, you probably don't. Thank you to all the viewers who are listening, because we have a special episode today. Every episode is a special episode because everyone's special in my heart. Ooh, deep. I'm going to put applause in the post there. Probably going to forget to do that. Anyway, special episode, a talented episode. We have a multitude of talent here in the studio today, and let's not waste any time, shall we? Let's just get in. There's a melting pot in front of us, and we're going to start just cooking. We're just going to start cooking. And my girlfriend is a producer today, and she's just like, wrap it up, Ethan. He's doing the melting pot bit again. Here we go. Over to my right, ladies and gentlemen, we just met minutes ago. Jamarcus, I forgot that, Outley?
Yes, sir.
Jamarcus Outley. Welcome on the show, sir.
Thank you, Ethan. Thank you for having me. It's very nice to be here.
It's very cool. Jamarcus here is, again, an actor, a thespian.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very much so.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really cool time. We're going to get to know each other a little bit, but Jamarcus Outley is here, and over across from us, we have Mike Tucker. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you, Mike. Me and Mike kind of know each other through the Everett as well, and Mike is the tallest guest we've ever had. He has broken the record of the tallest guest we've ever had. How are you feeling today, Mike?
I'm feeling pretty good now that I'm here. Yeah,
it's gonna be a cool time. Super excited to have you on. And right next to Mike, everybody, we have the wonderful, as I said when she walked in, Everett royalty, Kim Taylor.
Hi.
Welcome, Kim Taylor, everybody. Wow.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm great.
Yeah? Just vibing out. You're here
I am
on the podcast.
I'm excited to be with my guys and see you and meet you, everybody.
Yeah, just a couple entertainers hanging out. It's going to be a blast. But I would love to go around the room real quick. Everyone kind of introduces them, give a quick little bio. Jamarcus, to my right here, tell the people a little about yourself. Like, are you Delaware-based? Like, the whole thing with acting? Or just a quick little bio about Jamarcus.
Of course. Yeah. So I am actually native to Delaware. I grew up in Smyrna for a good portion of my life. Also, kind of a few other parts of here. So like Middletown, Newark as well. And then I moved away to go to conservatory school up in New York. And I went to the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts. And there I got my associate's degree in film and television performance. And I only graduated just last May. So currently right now, this is my first project out of school.
Wow. Wait, that's what you guys didn't even know that. Wow.
No,
I didn't know it was your first project.
Yes,
that's
it is.
Awesome.
I didn't know he went to a conservatory. Now what am I doing here? He's an actual actor.
We keep asking ourselves that.
We're all actors, Mike.
Exactly. And I'll be honest, I did a little snooping because we were new and I saw your Facebook and I did see, I told her, I'm like, you went to New York Conservatory Art School? I was like, this is some impressive stuff. And I saw a screenshot. You were on a movie or something like that?
So I think that the screenshot I have up on the page is from the final reels that we had produced when we finished school. So that was one of the things that we kind of like got gifted when we were leaving. So unfortunately, most students only get one. But because I was kind of a class favorite and another student didn't want to do their final reel, I got to end up with two. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow, look at that. Look, it pays off. He's young and thriving and just there's so much potential there, man. That's
so
super
many
exciting.
Nice words. I appreciate it.
Yeah, super exciting, man. I'm excited for you.
Remember us small people in Delaware when you go bigger and better things.
Well, you're not so small, Mike.
Just kidding. Are you calling me fat?
No, I'm calling you.
Love that.
That was great.
You guys also just met him recently because, Nevermore, when did the first, rehearsal start and everything like that?
Goodness.
I want to say, July?
July.
Somewhere in
July,
July, August.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Like
had
July,
auditions in
August-ish.
July, I think.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Mike, give a quick little bio by yourself, man. Yeah. Who is Mike Tucker?
Oh boy,
Come on.
settle in.
Let's
Settle
hear
in.
this. Buckle in.
I'm the wind, baby. I'm originally from Delaware. I live now in Maryland and Galena. If you know anything about professional wrestling here in Delaware, I was a member of East Coast Wrestling Association.
What?
Did that for a number of years.
Okay.
This year made the Hall of Fame of that. So
Whoa! Hold on. Yeah.
it's all for the obituary. That's right. It's no, I started doing work for the Everett. I actually started with the film project, with the film people, and one day they were doing Young Frankenstein, and they introduced me to the production team, and Kylie said, as long as he can sing just a little bit, and then they got me hooked, and now I've just been doing everything theater-wise with the Everett.
That is awesome. No, yeah, I'm so excited. Well, we're going to dive deep a little bit into that wrestling background later a little though, but because I am interested in that. But then we'll pass it back over to Kim. Tell the world about yourself, Kim. Who are you?
Well, it's a long story now. I actually grew up in North Jersey, and then I moved to Pennsylvania when I was a teenager, and then moved to Delaware when I was married. I am a mom. I've homeschooled. I teach English. I have a degree in English, and I study theater. I started dancing when I was 5, performing right then, and just performed all throughout high school and college, dancing, singing, acting, and then got married, had babies, and didn't do that for a while.
Yeah.
And then I got back to it probably at this point 15 years ago.
Wow.
So then I've been acting and teaching. I teach acting and directing. I worked for a school where I ran their drama program for several years, and now I've been at the Everett for about 10 years.
Wow.
And off and on through COVID. There was a big break.
Yeah.
But no, I direct, I choreograph. I choreographed a bunch of shows this past couple of years, and I love plays. So this new play that came out is something that I wanted to sink
You had to
my
jump
teeth
at
in.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanted to jump at
exactly.
it.
Go ahead.
So I love teaching. I love teaching, directing. I mom everyone a little bit.
Yeah.
I tell them to get going.
Right, yeah.
But
So
yeah.
originally a Jersey gal, like you said,
Yes.
and so you said you got back into it 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And was that here in Delaware? You got back into it?
Yeah, it was actually because my daughter wanted to start doing acting and shows and things like that. And
Okay.
so she was little. And I was like, okay, I'll go with you.
Your daughter Nina.
My
correct?
daughter Nina,
Which
yeah.
most of us know. Yeah, that's awesome.
my daughter Nina. So
Okay.
she wanted to start. She started dancing, and then she wanted to get into shows. And I was like, well, I'll go with you, and I'll be part of it. So
Yeah.
and it all went from there. And then now she's choreographing the prom that's opening this week.
That's awesome.
So I'm so excited.
She
Yeah.
is
for her.
brilliant.
Super exciting. Yeah. Go check out the prom. We'll talk more about that later, but we're going to drop little seeds and nuggets in there.
Little bit.
For you guys.
Promo.
Yeah, for sure. But no, yeah, I think what's super exciting is a lot of us having here in common. And it's cool because we kind of go from being there for 10 years to just showing up, which is super exciting. And we all kind of found this family at the Everett. You know, we had this outlet to let out this acting stuff and go from there. But I'll toss it back over to Jamarcus here. So, I mean, you just kind of, what you guys are pretty much doing is Nevermore, the Edgar Allan Poe play.
Yes, sir.
And I would love to hear your quick little story here of how you kind of found out about it, Jamarcus. Because again, you just left, again, correct me, New York Arts Conservatory?
Yes, sir. So the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts.
Okay, New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts.
I know it's a mouthful.
It is, but that just shows how legit he is too. Yeah. So so you just graduated from there, got your associates, and what kind of led? Like, did you look online? Like, because for a lot of people that listen to this too, I want to see if there's any aspiring artists or actors that are trying to find as simple as a community like theater thing to get involved in or find ways to get connected. How did you find the Everett's posting of Nevermore?
Yeah, for sure. So pretty much I had came home for the summer in around May, and I would always get like emails from the Everett over like time. I think I had signed up for like some kind of like thing where they send out different things when they post for auditions. And I checked my email one day and I happened to see like something about it for Nevermore. And I was like, okay, like I've heard of the Everett. I've never really been too involved there, even, when I was living in Delaware. But I was like, I think it would be a cool outlet to kind of explore and get to meet new artists as well, such as Kim and Mike. And it kind of just went from there. So from there, I ended up sending in a self-tape audition. And then I actually came in and got to meet everybody. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. Did you so again, you said you grew up here in Delaware? That's right, like we said earlier. And did you do acting before going to school for it?
if you No, actually.
No.
I did not.
Really?
Wow.
So what led you to the New York
It's a
art
very,
school?
very long story, truthfully speaking. So like for almost the entirety of my life, I wanted to do law. I wanted to go to school to do criminal justice. And this was around like senior year. So with COVID and everything, being at home, I was like starting to apply to schools. And at one point I was just like, I don't think this is what I really want to do. And from there, I ended up like going to trade school. And I don't think that's what I really wanted to do either. But I don't know. I think there was kind of like an inkling or a seed of something. And I don't know if it was, because of COVID and, really getting in tune with myself in that way. But I was like, you know what? I think I should really go for the acting thing. It was something that I had gotten into when I was younger for a little bit, but I kind of strayed away from it. And it wasn't like always there, but it was something that I've always had like a subtle like love for. It's like passion.
Did you have any inspiration? Curious, like was there anyone in your life or anything that you just watched that you were like, I want to do that? Or something one day was just like acting?
You know what? There was something. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the show Snowfall. Or if anybody is familiar with the show. Yeah. Now, there's a very talented actor on the show. His name is Damson Idris, and he plays the main character in the show, Franklin. And there was like a monologue that I was watching one day, like on YouTube. And I don't know, from there, it was just kind of like that. And that's from there. From there, I honestly just started applying to schools, and it kind of just picked up from there.
I love that story because that's another thing I like on this podcast, asking like little origin stories like that, because sometimes it is something as simple as that, or like it can impact someone a lot to be like, that's something I kind of want to go for. I mean, I've said it several times of mine, but for me it was just simple as like going on for my sophomore high school musical Anything Goes, and just wanting to get like a background extra role. Ended up getting one of the leads, and that was the moment I'm like, oh, this is awesome, being on stage, having all that energy. But yeah, man, that's awesome.
And I think a part of it is too, like, we always have these things that we like to do, but we never see them as, malleable. Like we can actually attain that.
Right.
Until you kind of get to a point where it's like, you got to do what you want to do, because if you don't, you'll get stuck doing something.
And what's your God-given gift? Just go ahead and like embrace it. 100%, man. Yeah, I love that. No, like again, it's a really cool story, and I'd love to toss it around to everyone else too. I mean, Mike, how long would you say? Professional wrestling. I love that background, by the way, because I mean, of course, with professional wrestling comes some entertainment and some acting involved in that, like big time. So, I'd love to know your story, man. Like, how long has it been since you've been kind of like on this entertainment route?
Actually, growing up, and I've told this to other people, like the arts weren't big in my family. I mean, I did it on my own. I watched a lot of TV, movies, music, and I would memorize it on my own, but it was never something that I looked to aspire to do. But I always loved wrestling. And when I was around 21, my girlfriend at the time moved to Minnesota to go to school. And I, of course, couldn't be away from my girlfriend. So I moved out to Minnesota, and I found a wrestling school there, and that's where I learned it. But then when I came home, I met Jim Kettner. I want to give a name drop because he was the promoter and the owner of East Coast Wrestling Association. And he just happened to know my father. And so my dad's like, hey, would you like to meet him? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Next thing I know, I'm wrestling for him for about a decade, and just living the dream. And but there's a lot of promotions like that are just kind of come and go, but his has been around for like 50 years. So he really knows what he does. And plus he brings in people from WWE. I got to meet Bob Backlund, who was the world champion when I was a kid. So I got to meet one of my heroes as a kid. Cool. Lou Albano was there, who I grew up watching and hated him because he was a bad guy. But when I met him, he was the nicest guy in the world. And it was just so much fun. And when I started doing stuff at the Everett, I used to say to people, I was like, oh, I've never done anything like this. But then I was like, no, I did professional wrestling. And that's like the most physical theater art you can do.
That's a beast, man.
Like, so that's why I like to help with, fight choreography. I can always do that. But the stuff at the Everett, this was just literally one day I just took a shot. I went to the film program. I was helping them, like I said, and they introduced me to everybody who was doing Young Frankenstein. And I just got bit by the bug that had always been there. Just like you said, there was always a seed. So once I did it, it was a lot of fun. But when I first started doing it, I was doing mainly comedic roles, which I'm cool with. It's a lot of fun. But it was when I got to do Much Ado About Nothing. Because who was doing Leonardo had to drop out, and they said, Mike, would you like to? And I was like, it's a primary dramatic. I was like, yeah, let's do that. I've always wanted to try something with some meat on its bones. And I was able to do that, and that led to me doing Laramie Project at Milburn, which is nothing but drama. Excuse me, can't talk. But it's just been a roller coaster. Just again, doing something before I was too old to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to my grave saying shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
So I took the chance and met people like Kim and Bob and Dale and everybody.
Yeah.
It's been a blast.
It's a great group.
I love that, man. Yeah. No, that's so cool. Like, seriously, like just finding that passion and stuff like that. And again, coming from that background, like I'm sure it was just like, you realize like, oh yeah, 100%. And yeah, again, it's cool that you get to kind of experiment with your range a little bit there too. And again, like when we went to go see, oh my gosh, what was it called? Like
Avenue Q?
No. What
Much
is
Ado?
the serious one? Yeah, Much Ado.
Like, much ado about nothing.
Nailed it, man. Like again, you were fantastic in all those serious roles you played, and I'm excited to see where you're gonna go with it. It's gonna be cool.
Well, it always helps to have a director like for Nevermore. Kim's amazing, but if you're doing anything Shakespeare at the Everett, you do want to work with Meredith because she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And so she guides you through everything. So she'll bring out the Shakespearean actor out of you. If she can, if she can't do it, nobody can. Yeah.
She really has, and I love it. She has such a passion for it too. Like when she came on the show, and even when I talk about her, she's just like she loves it. Like I tell her that, like I mean, we'll dive into it a little later, but like I guess what's intimidating to me when it comes to like the Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe stuff, like the wording and the way you have to say the words in the script, like it's very intimidating. And that's why when I'm watching you or anyone else up there, I'm like, man, like I mean, hopefully one day maybe we'll try it out. I don't know, but I'm just like
oh, I thought you were going to say if he can do it, I can do it.
No.
You can.
No, I mean, probably because again, I know for the same.
No, see, look, he just said probably.
But no, for the same thing as you is like, you know, sometimes it is, and I enjoy it too. Going back to comedic stuff, like it's always like that's the bread and butter. But it is like, man, like to go to a serious role and stuff like that. It's gonna be like it's a fun challenge. I'm sure it's gonna be a fun challenge.
Well, I mean, when we were reading the script, and there's the wedding scene, as they call it, where everything goes wrong, and like everybody that's ever done it, and Lexi Greenberg, who was one of my directors, Avenue Q, she came to me after. She's like, I've never seen anybody do Leonardo like you did in that scene. It's because Leonardo always gets angry. But the first time I read that, I mean, again, I'm being vulnerable here, people. I had no problem saying this, but when I was going through that script, I was finding parts where I was just naturally, as Michael, not as Leonardo, like starting to cry through it, like really getting into the emotion of it. And so that's what I brought to that one scene was just, it was a roller coaster. It was anger, it was sadness, it was confusion, it was all over the place. It was fun to get a chance to do that.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting, man. I'm excited to see this show and for whatever you got coming up. Yeah, it'd be cool. And we'll pass it over to Kim here. Again, I mean, you kind of give a quick like background about yourself in the bio, but I mean, when it comes to, you know, finding everything at the Everett, like how did you end up at the Everett, and who were your inspirations, I guess, like getting into the acting and directing and dancing?
Yeah.
You're multi-talented here. Yeah, seriously. We got
Triple threat.
over here.
You know,
Triple
it's funny when
threat.
I think about where I got inspired from. Back in elementary school, like a few years ago, my mom worked in the library in the school, and she'd always stay for meetings, and I would always be in the library just waiting there by myself and there for her for hours. And she would bring in the TV and put in DVD and put in VCR tapes. And when I was really little, I watched The Nutcracker with Baryshnikov.
Okay.
And I fell in love with him and dancing at the same time. But yeah, it was just with dancing, and I was like, I want to dance. So I started dancing, and then a few years later, it was at I can see the library around me as I think about this. It was Ian McKellen's one-man show.
Wow.
On PBS.
Okay.
She's like, oh, you might like it. I don't know. It'll just be an hour. And I was captivated by Ian McKellen, just doing this one-man show with all these different Shakespearean characters and flipping in and out and being personable, and I understood it all. And I hadn't read Shakespeare at that age. I was really young. And I was like, this is something I want to do. And I just kept doing it. I was really shy. I tell my students now I was super shy as a little kid, but the more I did, the more my confidence grew. And I always tell my students that that's a way to grow your confidence is to perform, be somebody else, and then you figure out who you are inside.
It's a great way to put it.
But then, I mean, because it helps to get out there as someone, even if you're not comfortable in your own skin, you're someone else's skin, and you figure it out. But getting back to the Everett, I started God's Power and Light Theater. They put on shows there. Yeah. And that was one of the first shows I did with Nina. It's a Wonderful Life. We went back there. She was little Zuzu. And I was Violet. I was the dancing. I was, so we did that show, and then we got involved there and did some more. Just every year we did more and more shows. And I started, I had directed in school back in college a little bit. and then I started doing more, and then I ended up working at a school. It just kept snowballing, and
Yeah.
I loved it. So I
And
just
here you
did
are.
more and more. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and then the
awesome.
choreography, I've always danced, so choreography is like everything with me is the physicality of it. I love the characterization, but if the character is only in your head and doesn't come out,
Yeah.
I'm always telling people, right?
Yes.
Your physicality is important.
Yeah,
I have heard
So,
that word a few times. Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, so I'm always looking at how the characters are coming out and showing the audience, like
Yeah.
how they walk, how they move, how
Well,
they react.
one thing I want to commend you with him, because me and Jazzy loved it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Before this, you did. It was Mean Girls, the last thing you did.
Yeah.
Me and Jazzy, and it's funny.
I love that.
She was all over, and funny. I didn't really know much about Mean Girls. She had to educate me before even seeing it at the Everett,
Yeah.
and of course the movie was coming out. And no, like we were just like we enjoyed every second of it. Like you did such a
Yeah.
great job with the
It
kids.
was
Like
fun.
it was a blast, and like a shout out to the Everett kids again. Like again, such a talented cast. The
So
teens,
good.
the kids, like everyone. I mean, everyone. Seriously, like it's such a blast, and it's such a great place where everyone can kind of just express their passion, which is a blast. And yeah, like because how we're all connected too is, I mean, well for me, I found the Everett in 2022 just from Puffs, because again like kind of the same frame is like you're kind of looking for something, just trying to figure it out, because acting, it's Delaware too. Like I mean it's I know it sounds weird to say, but it's one of those things where we kind of have to go through community theater or make one of our own projects to get something going,
Pretty
because
much so.
I feel like there's a lot of us here in Delaware that have this passion, but we just gotta find the right place or find the right people. Because one thing I've learned in my journey, at least, because I've been trying to, be on this acting or entertainment journey since high school, is it's all about connection. And again, talent, of course, needs to be there and all that stuff too. But I mean, people can do all the school and all that stuff too, which will help. It will help you find the connections. But if you know the right people and meet the right people, you're gonna find a place like the Everett Theater,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And kind of bring it all back here is for the Everett Theater, you guys are doing the show Nevermore. So I would love to. I mean, we have the director here, and we have two actors who are in the show. Whoever wants to take it away, what is Nevermore about? Like, let's promote the show, shall we?
Let's promote the
Yes, let's
show.
promote the show.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you want
and
me to-
what characters you guys playing, like that type of stuff.
Why don't
Yeah.
you say who you're
I was
playing?
about to say, who's the
Well, I
one
guess-
with the English degree?
I
so.
guess me with the English degree, which is why I love this show,
Right.
because Edgar Allan Poe is just my favorite. I've always loved Edgar Allan Poe. All his writings, his poems, his stories, his mental anguish, it just it just appeals. It's awesome. So this show is basically, if you know about Edgar Allan Poe, he lived a very kind of tumultuous life, and he died under mysterious circumstances. He was boarding a boat going to New York, but he ended up found 5 days later in Baltimore in somebody else's clothes and disheveled and half dead, and he ended up dying. I know. I feel like shock.
Yeah, no,
shock is
yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Yes. So nobody knows what happened in those 5 days.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of speculation. They think it might have been at that time during voting, people would actually gather up homeless or drunkards on the street, and they would just keep giving them liquor and or whatever, and having them send in to go vote and for whoever was running at the time. They think he might have gotten caught up in that somehow.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
But how he
Yeah,
got to
wow.
Baltimore, I don't
Nobody
know.
knows.
He was
Yeah,
on a ship to
dang.
New York.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a imagining of what would happen or what might have happened during those 5 days.
Wow. Okay.
And he's kind of
interesting.
and he's kind of haunted by his characters.
Mm.
And he's on this ship that says it's going to New York, but it doesn't end up going to New York. So it's kind of this nightmare ship, and he's waking up in different realities the whole time.
That's fascinating. I'll be honest. I was
Yeah.
trying to do it before you guys got here. I'm like, a quick synopsis on the Nevermore and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, like, no, like I wasn't reading it correctly. That's
Yeah.
fascinating. No, that's really cool.
Very much
It's
so.
really
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, it's not just like people reciting his poetry. We do hear a lot of his poetry, and a lot of the characters pop up, but it's done in the context of telling a story.
Yeah.
And telling a
Yeah.
story of his life and the people around him and how they
Yeah.
influenced him and how he was under the influence quite a lot. Jamarcus gets to
Inebriates a
Yes.
lot.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
but in the show we have 14 people in the cast, and they're playing 52 roles.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Fun
they're playing a
time.
lot of different roles. A lot of different opportunities.
A lot of stage time for people. Yeah, yeah.
A
A lot of costume
stage time.
changes,
And,
quick changes.
and that's how the story usually goes. It's usually, I think you can have a cast like about 18 or 19 people playing those roles. We just have such talented people. We have 14 playing 52.
Yeah, you can make it work.
Whatever, we got it.
It's Everett.
So we have this whole cast. It's very, we're going with the steampunk sort of vibe.
Cool.
So, and we have an original score that's been written in
Whoa,
underscore.
that's awesome.
Yes, we have an original underscore that's for the whole show, for scene changes, and to kind of keep the whole.
Does it ever have a connection? Just curious, not to cut you off. Does it have a connection or is that your personal connection?
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
I'm kidding.
No, I can't tell you. He lives in my house. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, he does. It's my son.
Son, yeah. That's awesome. I love it.
My son mixes music and stuff. And,
that's so cool.
And he's always done it as a hobby, just kind of fun for himself. And I threw it out there at the beginning of the ideas for this. I was like, it would be really cool to have some background music, maybe for scene changes. Yeah. And he's like, oh, no. Okay. And then a month later, he comes back. He's like, so I put together a few things. And so we now have.
How old is your son?
He's 23.
Okay, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's going to be a teacher. He's doing a student teaching right now.
But it wasn't cool when Mom suggested it. He had to wait a month later.
Think about it.
It needs to be my choice. I don't want Mom to tell me what to do.
He had to think about it, and he already had a few mixed already, and he was like, okay. So now we have this whole underscore that kind of fits the whole kind of steampunk rock. Yeah. Vibe to it, nightmarish gothic sort of vibe. So
that's cool.
It's not your dry classical play. It's a cool thing. So
okay, well, I love it. Mike, who are you playing in this show? Like, give us a little background on your character and how the experience has been with your director right next to you.
I know. I'm like,
I guess no spoilers.
What can I?
Wait, no spoilers. Yeah.
Don't spoil.
I don't know if I'm the person you want to talk about then because it'll just.
Are you the Mark Ruffalo?
I'm the Mark Ruffalo of this. Yes.
Ruffalo of this cast.
I'm so the Mark Ruffalo of this. I've literally done that before. So.
Oh no.
Well, I'm the Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yeah.
I play Captain Nimrod, who is the captain of the ship. That
wait, is it Nimrod? Or
Nimrod.
Oh, it is Nimrod. Okay.
Captain Nimrod. I'm the captain of the ship.
I get to call him Nimrod all the time. It's wonderful.
Fantastic.
I keep hearing Bugs Bunny's voice saying that to me because he's the one who always said it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm the one taking care of everything on the ship, but he does have a secret, as everybody in this show does.
Yeah.
So his secret's a pretty big one, but it's something you actually find out about it relatively early, but it's
quickly.
It's something that pervades throughout the entire show, in and out. So
okay, love it.
And it has directly to do with me and Edgar. So
yeah, he's the antagonist. He's one of them.
He's the thorn in my side.
Oh, I love it. That's gonna be fun.
Or if we go back to wrestling, I'm the heel, is what I am.
The heel. Love it. And so one thing I'll get in before we move over to Jamarcus, I mean, because you had the background with, again, Shakespeare and stuff like that. With Edgar Allan Poe, I guess this is a question actually for everybody in the cast here. Is it the same as Shakespeare, like verbiage-wise, you'd say? Or no, Shakespeare's more intense.
This is more... it's more understandable language. It's just the way it's phrased is sometimes
very
hard to understand.
Very proper English, but not like Shakespeare.
Not like Shakespeare.
But Shakespeare has the what is it called?
Iambic pentameter.
Yeah, I see.
Sorry,
that's why she has the English degree.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, it's not in that, and this isn't written in verse. We do read. We do kind of spoken word poetry where we interpret some of the poems throughout the show, but it's all done in character, like as Poe's character or the other characters come out.
Yeah. So. And because she's seen me too whenever we're watching a Shakespeare show. Like, I love it and everything's great, but it's a me issue where I just can't take in sometimes what's happening because I just have to go through what's being acted out because I'm like, the verbiage is so fancy. And I'm like, oh, so interesting to hear, like, again, with Edgar Allan Poe.
This is something you'd understand. You understand the whole thing. It's, the only thing that's a challenge for them is I'm making them do a transatlantic accent.
Oh, okay. Wait, hang on, Mike. Can we hear a little? Can we hear yours real quick?
Did you see that bus coming to get you, Mike? Right there.
Dance, monkey, dance.
You're testing me, right?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
I don't know what you want me to say in my accent.
I mean, if you want to pull the script out or say a certain line, yeah.
Are you gonna make Jamarcus do this too?
Yeah, we'll make him. No, we'll make him do it too. Yeah.
I don't know what you want to say.
I don't know.
Transatlantic.
Transatlantic.
It's not like the low-key American, but British.
It's
like
kind of that.
TV.
It's kind of that posh. classic Hollywood sort of sound.
It's the one I did at the murder mystery one time.
The Katharine Hepburn sort of.
Yeah, it goes back to like the
Cary
golden age of
Grant,
Hollywood, like
Golden age of
around those
Hollywood.
time. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
And this must be the illustrious Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
That's just a little one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have two distinguished guests aboard tonight. The Antarctic explorer, Captain Jeremiah Reynolds, and an explorer of the dark recesses of the human mind, Mr. Edgar Allan Poe.
Ooh. Okay, you know what? That's actually a great introduction now.
There you go.
And there he is.
Let's toss it over to Jamarcus. Jamarcus, yeah, give a little, I mean, again, no spoilers, but talk about your experience and your character a little bit for us here.
Yeah. So as Kim kind of like said, it's a story about Edgar and the way that he was tormented up until his death.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, like, we don't know exactly what happened to him. Very unfortunate. But this story is almost like all of his stories coming to life.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily in the way that you would think, but it's like very, I'm trying to think of what that word is. Sorry, I'm having a very
No,
Oh,
you're
you're
fine.
fine.
You're fine. It happens. Yeah.
He's basically battling his own demons.
Yeah, he's being
Gotcha.
He's being haunted, and some of his characters come out at some points and say, this is what you wrote as our demise. How are you going to die? Why shouldn't you be tortured by this same moment?
Yes, so it's almost like as if all the grief and anguish that he's had built up over these years has come back to actually torment him in real life.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's a great story
I'm
right
sold.
there.
I want to watch.
I know. That's gonna be awesome.
But there is hope. There is hope for Edgar throughout the whole thing.
Just a seed of hope.
Because we see a little bit of him as a younger soldier where he falls in love with his Annabelle Lee.
Yeah.
So we see a little bit of that at the beginning, and that's kind of a theme, a thread throughout the whole story.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of ties him to just a little bit of hope.
Okay. Love it. Are we able to hear you say a few lines with
Yeah,
your
sure, of
transatlantic
course.
accent? Yeah. Okay. Let's see here.
Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thou so have spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart and take thy form from off my door.
Goddamn!
Excellent.
Wow! It was a switch. It was a switch. It was fantastic. No,
That was awesome.
great work. That was great. Yeah, transatlantic. Give me a line. The transatlantic accent. Let's try it out.
Darling, I'm home.
Thanks for connecting us, Aaron. Super excited for the interview on the 13th. Oh, that's terrible.
It almost sounded like you were trying to do a New Jersey accent.
That's exactly. It just blew it.
Thanks
It's
for
gonna take a while.
correcting us.
That's exactly.
Hey, forget about it.
I put it out the
Forget
email.
forget about
Forget
it.
about it.
Forget about it. Love
Jersey,
that.
I got you.
Yeah. But Kim, I mean, how has the experience been kind of directing this show? I mean, so is this your first Edgar Allan Poe show you've done? Or
Yeah,
okay.
this would be the first one. I've taught Edgar Allan Poe for years in school,
Okay.
to seniors and even some middle schoolers. Sometimes I teach it,
Mhm.
but and I will have them recite portions, and they're never happy about that part.
Yeah.
But when I first saw the show, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because and I, as much as I love it, if I go to a show where they're just reciting poetry, it can get a little dry. And this one just has this whole gothic supernatural vibe to it that adds so much.
Yeah.
Like, so it's one of those moments where you're learning a lot about Edgar Allan Poe in that time period, but you don't even realize it. Because there's just such a cool thing happening around it, and there's all these supernatural elements bringing it in.
Yeah. What do you guys say? I'm curious, like, for everyone in the room, like, I mean, this is pretty, like, serious, kind of a dark story too. Like, does that kind of stuff like reel you guys in? Like, is that your interest? I mean, Mike, I see Mike kind of.
Well, honestly, I originally was supposed to be the assistant director to this, to Kim, because I was trying to transition to the more production side.
Yeah.
And I took the job as the assistant director. Then I saw the show we were doing. And I looked at it and I looked at Kim. I was like, oh my God, I would have gone out for this show. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
And I would have gone out for Captain Nimrod. I was like, that's the only part to go in this show.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, this is a great show. The ending is literally going to the ending doesn't happen till literally the last second. You know what's happening. This will take you right to the very end.
There's like magic, a little bit of magic tricks around different things.
Very much so.
So you never really know what's happening, if it's real, if it's imaginary, or what's happening until the very last second.
That's going to be cool. I'm excited to see how you portray that on stage, because I'm sure you're getting really creative with it. It's going to be a blast.
Very much.
Yeah,
but especially the fact that it's October, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
Good timing.
It screams Edgar Allan Poe. This is just his time of year.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And we have all like the visual effects, the sound effects, the fog, everything going. So yeah.
That's going to be a blast. And that's like, again, one of the best parts about doing just these live shows is being a part of that, and again, and even being in the audience, seeing that and just seeing how much work it put in. Super exciting stuff. There's a movie around this. The Raven? Is it? It's just called the Raven though, correct? If I'm correct. Yeah. And Roger Corman actually, directed those type of films. And I know you're a big Roger Corman fan, big movie guy there. And because I kind of want to find the segue there. I mean, when it comes to like the movies and stuff like that, I actually want to toss over to Mike. Speaking of the Everett and things that there's got going on, you also have a midnight movie program that you want to talk about, or something that you kind of want to help get started, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what is this? Yeah, explain it for people. Yeah.
When I first started at the Everett, like I said, it was at a movie, and it was a midnight showing of Rocky Horror. And when I was coming out of there, I talked to Peter Hoops from the Everett, and I said, "Do you guys do midnight movies all the time?" He's like, "No, not really." I said, "I think this would be something you should do more of." I said, "It's an audience that's not being represented." I said, there's just tons of movies we could do. And I started sending him emails. And in fact, what he called my first email was a manifesto, because it was just a list of movies, directors, everything we could do.
Yeah.
And so I've been bugging them about this for like 4 years. And I finally got more people there who were interested. And I figured the best time to do it would be October, right before this show.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I asked if we could do a Roger Corman film, because Roger died 5 months ago, at the age of 98, was still working right up to 98. So I said, let's do a movie that speaks to Edgar Allan Poe, but also gives some homage to Roger Corman.
Yeah.
And I gave him a few, but they settled on The Raven, because it's a little more funny, it's a little more campy, but it's got Vincent Price, it's got a very, very young Jack Nicholson in it, one of his first roles.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we're doing that in conjunction with Nevermore and the live theater program and things like that. Yeah. But we're also expanding it. We're trying to do more. We're doing another one in November. We're also doing one Halloween night.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
And at this point we also, I think, have another midnight movie set for February. So we're starting to get the ball rolling on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of stuff with that.
So just movies premiering at midnight, and then people can just find it on the Everett page, being like, what's coming up next and stuff like that. Yeah, man.
And I mean, like, old movies, like from the 60s to 70s, all the way up to movies to now, we're looking to do, though. I mean, but all kinds of genres, decades, just everything. And make it more interactive for the audience. Like, have costume things. Have, like, can you read this better than anybody? Or just anything to get the audience, get a feel
more
like
engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, that's a really cool idea. I'm looking forward to see where that goes. And then again, like you kind of chatted me about it. Anything we got to do to promote it. Like, I mean, if we got to do like an interview to promote like the next thing coming up, or to have someone on, that'll be a blast, man. Talk movies and stuff. Yeah, like all about the movie stuff.
Yeah, like we're doing Raven. In October. We're also doing Rocky Horror on
Rocky
Halloween
Horror.
night with a shadow.
Are you guys involved in that? Or
no?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Yeah.
But we're also doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it's the 50th anniversary in November.
Oh, wow.
And at this point in February, we're checking doing the movie Candyman. So
wow,
things like that for
That
midnight.
one still scares me.
So obviously, Mike here is a horror guy. Kim, are you big on horror? Like, is that
Not really.
Not really. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
really.
Jamarcus, how about you?
I love it.
Oh, you love horror.
I love it.
Okay, so I'm curious. What's maybe some of your favorite horror horror films, or any specific thing that pops in your mind? Yeah.
When it goes back to horror, thinking about like one of the first horror movies I saw as a kid was 13 Ghosts. Okay. I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with that movie, but that movie scared the living. Hold on. The living midnights in Plutonian Shore.
Oh, look at
Excellent,
that!
sir. Excellent.
Extra credit.
Me, yes. But that movie like scarred me as a child.
Wow.
But ever since then, though, like I love Scream, That's probably one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
All the Texas Chainsaw movies, even like Friday the 13th, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lots of good stuff out there. Yeah, I mean, for me and Jazzy over here, who's in the producer seat, it's not our thing, especially not her. Like,
I'm with you, Jazzy.
She doesn't even humor it. She's like, like, all of our friends will have a movie night. I'll at least sit there and just like once in a while flinch. But she's like, I'm not going in that room. She's like, I don't know what you're thinking. We're not going in that room, all that stuff.
No, a recent thing, we watched Twisters. And in the tornado
Twisters,
scene, my heart was pounding.
Yeah.
I had to feel my chest.
That wasn't a horror film.
I was going to say, that's not a horror movie, is it?
Well, it goes to show where she's at with these. Because when she watches a movie, she's in the movie.
I couldn't finish Bird Box. That was a tough one for me.
But the crazy thing, like if you're my age, I think I'm the oldest one here, obviously. I was there when cable first became a thing, and my parents weren't watching what I was watching. So I mean, I was watching Jaws, I was watching The Exorcist, I was watching Maniac, I was watching the crazy.
And nothing about you when you were little was like, this is scary. You loved it. You were just taking every second of it.
My parents thought there was something wrong with me, but no, I loved it.
Yeah, I did see The Omen as a very young child.
Yep, that was another one.
Yeah, my brother went to West Point and they showed free movies, and so my family, he's like 10 years older than me, so they're like, oh sure, she can watch it. It might be a little scary. And I was like, I was screaming. They had to carry me out like a crazy child. I was so scared.
Oh, wow.
No, watching, like I remember for me, I guess why I'm so scarred from it too, stuff like The Exorcist, or I watched Poltergeist when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
The TV would genuinely, I was like a scary thing for me. I remember there was a solid 6 or 7 months my dad was so mad at me when I was little because I just kept sleeping in their bedroom. And I'm like, you have to sleep in my bedroom, because I just had this vision that there's a monster in the house. Like, I don't want anything to do with this, and I can't sleep alone because it's going to be a pure nightmare. But yeah, all that to say, I love it, guys. Seriously, well, hey, go check out Nevermore. Go check it out. One thing, I got to go back to it before we go. Your wrestling career.
Can we actually talk about that?
Because I think all of us are fascinated. One of my first questions is like, what was your name? And like, what was your character? If you're willing to dive into that. Yeah. Before we end this here.
Should we really be talking about Nevermore? No.
And you don't do any fighting in this.
This was just a hoax to get you here to talk about your.
Yeah, right.
God.
Someone told me wrestling. Yeah.
No, my wrestling name was Mike Mayhem.
Wow.
Like
Oh my God. It's everything I wanted it to be. Yeah, perfect.
We just call you that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But that's because I cause mayhem everywhere I go.
Exactly.
That's funny.
No, I was a good guy or a baby face. I was a bad guy. Or a heel, whatever you want to call me.
Wow.
In fact, when I was talking to Kim about this show, I was like, this character has to be, and I was like, I don't know how else to describe it. He needs to be a heel at the end of this, and he has to do a heel turn.
Is there a lot of physicality in the show? Is there a lot of fight
Yes.
scenes? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, yes. Here are the bruises.
Jamarcus is gonna lose 5 pounds with every show.
Honestly, I
God.
probably
Wow.
will. I don't doubt it.
He is
Impressive.
We're gonna have to
constantly-
insure him with Lords of London
Yeah.
before the show starts. Yeah.
because he's on stage the whole time.
show.
There was one scene we realized, you exit for a minute or two. Look at that. Go get a sip of water. But he's on stage the whole time.
No wonder you kind of gave me a look when they were mentioning like quick changes and stuff like that. Like, I'm sure you're just going through it, buddy.
He wears the same costume pretty much the whole time. All layers.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. But wow, on stage the whole time. That's a
On stage the whole
beast.
time. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he just exits for a couple minutes.
No green room breaks. Yeah, sometimes.
And it's constantly like, being tossed about and then fighting, and
And it's just a lot of.
a lot of physicality.
Yeah. Were you expecting
That's
that?
the best way I
Were you
can
expecting that? Were you expecting that going into
Honestly,
it? Or
no, I was not. But
you were for it. You're ready.
Now
You're
the more
Yeah.
that we've gotten into it, I am very much for it. Though.
Not just the physical, but the mental stuff he has to
Yeah.
go
It's
through.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
really
lot.
is. But
Yeah.
It's a lot.
it's fun once you really get into it and start to break down the cycle of like, okay, what is he? Where's the grief coming from? What is this that he's trying to like express? What is he trying to get out that he can't because it won't leave him? It continues to just. It's like that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like manage the intensity, so he can't be like at 10
All
the
the
whole
time.
time. So he's got to go up and down and up and down, and it's
But there's a
it's
lot of levels
challenging.
to it. There is.
Yes. And he's doing amazing.
Who's the person in charge of like kind of like the fight stuff? Who's that landing? Oh, it's all on you. Okay. Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
All right.
I do choreo and stage fighting and all that.
What else? I'm curious. Has it been a big challenge for you fight wise, or has it
But
been?
we haven't done a lot of the fighting yet because
Okay.
I usually save that till a little bit later.
Okay.
So they get all their
Yeah,
blocking, they
yeah.
get their lines in their head, and then the fighting at that point, everyone's comfortable with each other, and then we can get to that stage fighting portion.
Yeah.
So and it's all about safety. I'll mention safety 1,000 times. Hello.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
But yeah, especially because everyone's tossing him about and hitting him with things. And,
This is the thing. I think the thing with acting is like, of course, you want to challenge yourself, but at the end of the day, it's all about having fun, enjoying your passion, and being safe about it. Like, if that's not there, then I feel like for me, it's like, what's the point?
Why
What's the
do
point?
it?
It's like we're not there. I mean, if we could all get paid to act, that's a dream. But at the end of the day, we don't want to make it feel like it's some sort of full time.
Calls, I'll be there.
Oh,
I'll
are you
take his
kidding me?
call. Just this once.
Yeah. Just give me a call.
Just
like
this once.
Somebody, Jon Favreau, George Lucas. Come on, guys. Come on, just hit us up. But no, that's a blast, guys. I love that. I love all of your backgrounds. Anything you want to say else about the show? Anything you always want to bring up or promote regarding the show? Anything on your mind?
Not about the show so much, but you were asking like what got us into this.
Yeah.
Like I said, he went to school. She's been doing this forever. I was just some guy off the street, and I literally was. When I did Young Frankenstein, I did the audition. I figured, okay, I'm a big guy, so I'll get the audition part. But when it came back to callbacks, I was terrified because I didn't know anybody there, and they all knew each other.
Isn't it scary?
So it's scary.
Sure, yeah.
But I will say, everybody at the Everett made me feel at home right from day one. Plus, before that, I talked to my son who had worked, not worked, but when he was in high school, he was in the chorus, and he knew a lot of the theater kids. And he said, Dad, don't worry about it. Theater people are the most welcoming people you're ever going to meet, and they're going to make you feel comfortable.
Not at every theater, but this theater.
Yes.
Yes.
So if there's anything, like, truthfully, if there's anything we can say about the Everett, because I felt the exact same way in 2022. Because if I'm being honest, the last thing I did before 2022 was my senior show, which was The Wiz in 2016. And when I started dating her, she was doing Peter and the Starcatcher at Milford 2nd Street Players down in Milford. And seeing her on stage, I was like, I'm going to just go online and just find something. And found Puffs. Had no idea what it was. All I saw was send a video audition or in-person audition. I didn't go in person because I was like, I don't know anyone. And it's intimidating. It's like, I'm going to send the video thing. Like, I was like, maybe I should just went in person. But I was like, I'm going to send the video because if I get the no, it's just through an email. It's great.
But that's the thing. When you say you're
here.
intimidating,
Same here.
you're talking, I'm the biggest person that's been in your studio. So I'm 6'8", I'm about 300 pounds. But when I got on that stage and had to sing a cappella alone, I felt so small and so scared. And I tried to ask questions. I was trying to draw it out for as long as I could. And then finally you just get to that point where you're like, just take a breath and you just got to do it. And once I was done, our music director simply just went, congratulations, you did your first audition. I mean, it was just that simple. It was just that easy, and they made it fun.
I will mention that I was there the day he walked in to audition for Young Frankenstein, because I was in the show as well. And I turned around and I saw him walk in the door. I was like, well, we have our friends.
It's like you have to. Who wouldn't? Yeah, exactly.
And that's like Kylie said. She's like, he just needs to sing a little bit, just a tiny little bit. Otherwise, he just has to groan and grunt. That's it. And he's big.
Yeah. But no, again, it's such a seriously welcoming theater. Because again, that was Val directed the show I was in, and she was just so cool about it. Like I was just like, oh, and then again, a lot of the kids were in it, and they were cool. And then I met Maria Glockner there. She's fantastic, such a talent. I met so many other. That's where I met Meredith too, because she I think it was a perfect mix, like me meeting everyone, because it was like some kids. It was like adult and kid show, so I got to meet like kind of the whole community in a way, and just kind of went from there. And it was one of those things where it made me realize, oh no, people do think a YouTube channel is cool, because I started talking about it. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, it's like right now 600 subscribers, but you should subscribe. So there we go. But
and the funny thing is, when I auditioned for Young Frankenstein, it was literally National All or Nothing Day. So that's why I said to myself, I'm either going for it or I'm never going to go. So I'm just going to go for it, whatever. And so
and look where that led you, right?
Thankfully I did,
Years down the road, here you are.
I think that's like that's one of the biggest takeaways from this too. Is and if you look at Jamarcus, like you didn't do anything with the Everett. Again, you're just like getting into something, and look, you're leading, man. You're in the lead role, and now you got 2 minutes of relax time on stage or something.
Honestly, it was really nice to come into a place where like I felt welcomed by the community, especially because this is my first time doing anything with the Everett Theater. So, like you said earlier, you did a self-tape because you were like, oh, if I get to know, at least I don't have to see it face to face.
Is that why you sent a video?
It was more so that I wasn't very familiar with everyone there as well, and those nerves can really get to you. So I was like,
I've been auditioning a long time, and I do not like auditioning. I teach other people how to audition, and I get up there and I'm like,
But thankfully.
One thing about this show, just one last thing, is that it's all adults, but it is a wide range of people, of experience, of ages. We have people who just graduated high school. We have college students. We have just graduated college, and
old farts like me,
just like him. But lots of experience of different types, and everyone is working together and like growing together. And I even added in a dance, so they're dancing, because I couldn't do a show without a dance.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Everyone's like,
how to scratch that itch.
I was like, well, it said waltzing for 30 seconds.
Musical.
We'll turn it into a 3-minute dance. It's fine.
Love it.
Just keep going. But yeah, it's been a great community. I love my cast and my production staff, my producer and stage manager and costumer, everyone. They're just fantastic. So.
Yeah, no, that's a blast. Again, super excited to see the show. Super excited to see you guys in it, and I wish you the best of luck. Break a leg. Yeah, it's going to be a blast seeing you guys there. One thing I'll say beforehand, I mean, again, this is coming out on the 20th. So, hey, if you're listening to this right now and you're like, what else does the Everett got going on, mate? Well, we also have the prom. The prom is happening this weekend.
Yes.
If you're listening to this Friday morning, get your tickets tonight.
Yes.
Because the prom is going to be the night of the 20th, the 21st, and 2:00 as usual on Sundays.
Sunday, yeah.
So come on, you got a few chances. Go ahead and check out the prom. It's good. That's got a stacked cast too.
Oh my God,
Bob Gatchell's in it. So
Bob
I mean,
well,
a lot of other people.
they let him in.
He sweeps up.
Yeah, he's all right. No, it's an amazing cast. It's just
that's going to be a blast.
Adults and teens, and it's just like crazy. It's so good.
A mixture of everyone. I think that's going to be a great thing. Shout out to Sean Young too.
And
just recently saw Little Shop of Horrors. Just want to shout out to Smyrna Opera House for that cast. Like, that was fantastic. Honestly, me and her were like, it's a crime. It was only one weekend.
Yeah.
Like, they should have. I wish they did more, but just throwing shout outs out there.
Well,
shout out to everyone.
Yeah, he's there. And Spencer, who played the plant, is in this too.
Spencer too.
Spencer too. Yeah.
Man, it's like
there's a ton.
Crazy.
Yeah. You see a lot of familiar faces and new ones, too.
It's going to be a blast.
And the choreographer is really wonderful. I know her.
Yeah. yeah. No, again, super cool. It's going to be a blast to have that show again. Everyone check out the prom and check out Nevermore. What are the dates for Nevermore that people can go ahead and check out the show?
It opens the 18th, October 18th. So 18th, 19th, 20th. And then I can't do math, 25th, 26th, and 27th. I teach English. I don't teach math.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah. Exactly. But love that. Everyone go ahead and check it out. I'm going to leave the link down below for the Everett Theater website where you can get tickets for the show that is currently there, the prom, and also where they can, again, buy tickets now for Nevermore, right? Yeah.
We already have some seats sold.
There we go. Go ahead and buy your tickets for Nevermore.
Just remember, it isn't just theater stuff. They got movies. They've got music stuff there. They got Beatlemania coming. They've got Ultimate Manilow. Ultimate Manilow, I think.
What is Ultimate Manilow? Is that like Barry Manilow?
Manilow, yep.
Yeah.
And they also got a psychic coming. I mean, there's anything you could want to do, the Everett's got it.
And Anastasia in December.
Yep.
Anastasia in December. Yeah, no, again, you get a great lineup, and we're excited for the season reveal. I'm pumped for that.
October 4th is season
Are they doing
reveal.
a whole performance again like they did 2 years ago?
They're doing little performances for each
it's
show.
Gonna be a blast.
So,
yeah.
And also, if
what are the shows, Kim? Tell me. No, do you know?
I can't tell.
Breaking news. No. Yeah. What were we saying?
If you're, because it's October, if you're a fan of Halloween, come Halloween night.
Yep.
Because they're showing a movie called The Alien Kind that was done. It's an independent. It's free. It was done by some of the people in the film project in the Everett, Mark and Jess. Then after that, they're showing the original Halloween movie, John Carpenter. And then again, as we said, midnight they're doing Rocky Horror with the Shadow Cast.
Yes, check out Rocky Horror too. Yeah, that's gonna be that's
Halloween
a cool
night is where to be at the Everett.
Yeah, you guys are busy there. Like I'm sure it's like who's taking this day? Who's taking this day? Yeah, that's got to be craziness.
I'm just there all the time.
It's just like whatever. Yeah,
I love it.
I'm gonna do a final thing that's like, hey guys, thanks again for watching, and always remember this has been Ethan Hahn Plus, and you're gonna say Jamarcus, you're gonna say Mike, and you're gonna say and Kim.
And Kim.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be Ethan Hahn Plus, and then Jamarcus. Mike, you all say your first name and then
And
and
Kim.
Kim. And that's the way it wraps up from there.
That is really funny because that's a long-standing joke with my friends.
Oh, really?
From-
What's the
yeah.
joke there?
It was a social media post, and somebody forgot me, and then they went and Kim.
Kim.
Like I was.
Well, wait a minute. That was also one of our rehearsals. We need everybody except Mike. And then it was like everybody and
So,
Mike.
The fact that you just said that, I know that there's like a whole party of people who are going to be like, and Kim.
I'll clip this out then. I'll clip this out. Well, it's almost meant to be then. What you
So
to say it
funny.
last. That's great. Wow, I didn't even know it. All right. Well, love that. All right.
Look
So
in the camera.
exactly right. Yeah. Well, all right, everyone. Hey, this has been a blast. I'm going to toss it over to Jamarcus here. Any last words? You want to promote your social media? People follow you, or how do you want people to connect with you? How do they connect?
Sure. I
With
wasn't going to, but since you asked so nicely, you guys can follow me on Instagram at mark.outley. And thank you guys for watching the show, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Cool, Mike. Anything?
I got nothing personal. I'll just say again, go to the Everett Theater. There's something there for anybody, not just to go as a patron, but go there to volunteer. We love to have volunteers there. You'll get a chance to sing, you'll get to dance, you do whatever you want to do. There's something there for anybody.
Love it. And Kim?
All right. I don't have social media except Facebook because I'm of that age. But no, just come out to the theater and you can volunteer. You don't have to be on stage. You can be on crew. You can be at the concessions counter.
Lights.
You can bring your kids, your family, your grandparents, everybody. It's a family community and there's something there for everyone.
Love it. All right. Well, hey, everyone. Thanks again for watching. And always remember, this has been Ethan Hahn Plus.
Jamarcus.
And Mike?
And Kim.
Let's try it one more time.
Oh no, I screwed up. It would
And
have
you know
to be
what's-
me.
Nimrod.
You know what's so-
My Nimrod.
I told him I knew it would be me.
It's okay. That's actually
This
hilarious.
is why he's called Nimrod.
And what's even funny about that, as I was saying that, I was like, wow, that was the smoothest transition I had into and thanks again for watching. So I was like, we're gonna get it in one take.
No, I'm not
Thanks,
gonna lie.
Mike.
You
No,
said
you
it too fast a little bit. I had to catch it quick.
I'll be honest, I caught myself too. I'm like, holy crap, I did it. All right, here we go. Let's go into it.
And you did good because I didn't realize he was going right into it. I was like, oh,
I know,
that's
right?
it.
I caught it
I think-
quick.
I
I was
think
like,
that's why it
okay, let
screwed
me
me
not
up.
mess
Because
this up.
sometimes
Let me not
I
mess
think
this
she
up.
notices. Sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, oh yeah, and thanks again for watching. So here we go. We're gonna script it out this time. Okay, now here we go. Everyone get ready. Here we go. All right, everyone. Well, hey, thanks again for watching. And always remember, this has been Ethan Hahn Plus.
Jamarcus.
Mike.
And Kim.
Now we do some fake talking like they do in the talk shows.
Mumble.
All the credits rolling, music's playing. Jazzy hates when I make guests do this. And we're good.